Hey guys, I want to start off by apologizing about the quality of this video. I'm not going to be able to run this through Sony Vegas, add any music like I normally would. When I upgraded to Windows 10, it messed everything up and I had to do a clean install. And I don't have my Vegas or my Adobe Photoshop at the moment, so the quality on these videos won't be low, but I won't have, music in the background and stuff, so I do apologize beforehand. We're going to talk about Yang Zing's, and the deck I played over the weekend. Uh, Yang Zing's obviously all got reprinted in the tin, so you may have these cards laying around. So you can throw this deck together. I'm not going to say that it's a cheap deck because the extra deck is where you spend your money with Yang Zing's at this point. And I'm running the Zefra build, which is a pendulum deck. So I gathered up the cards. I actually didn't have everything for this deck until Saturday, the day of the locals, and I ended up going 5-0 with the deck and taking first place at the locals, playing a Shadows, Necroz, Burning Abyss all along the way. And I only lost one game all day, and that was to Shadows. So I had a really strong showing with the deck. I'm going to talk about it pretty quickly. I don't know how much my phone can actually handle storage wise. I only have a 16 gig phone, so let's go ahead and run through the deck real quick. First and foremost, we have three. And Yang Zings, I pronounce them wrong all the time. I've been playing Yang Zings since they came out, or I played them when they came out all the way through like January. Then I basically took a really long hiatus from Yu-Gi-Oh altogether over the summer due to getting married and just now getting back in. So three of the black tuner, dark tuner, Jiaotou. This guy is kind of what makes the deck relevant. He gives you power plays. If you don't have any other cards, monsters on your side of the field, you can pitch 2 Yang Zing cards from your hand to special summon 2 Yang Zing monsters from your deck. And it just allows really powerful plays to go off. I'll talk about the final play of the day that sealed the tournament for me. Very reckless, but it was actually really funny. So we're playing 3 Jiaotous, and just like regular Yang Zing's, Jiaotou, when it's destroyed, it can special summon another one. Playing 2 Chiwen. I only managed to get 2 before the tournament. I would probably have played 3 if I had a third. I think the tuners are super important for the deck, especially in the Zefra variant, because you're always going to have material, and you want the tuners to have something to, you want them to make your synchros. So it's a synchro deck at the end of the day. One more tuners. 2 is okay. There was only a couple times where I was like, man, I wish I had another Chiwen, but that's the way it is. Since we are running a Zefra engine with this, we don't have room for 3 of everything, so 2 Suwani, 2 Beyond, 2 Bishi, and 1 Teoti. I'll explain the Teoti here in a moment. And then for the pendulum stuff, we have 3 Zefrano. This guy is amazing. There's basically a 2-card play you make with Jiaotou and this guy, and you just swarm your opponent with Baxias, and then you try to like protect the advantage you get, and you can seal game that way. So we'll talk about kind of the interaction you have there. We have 2 of the treasure of the Yang Zing. This guy, when he's pendulum summoned, basically he makes another Yang Zing a tuner. He's okay, but we do want him because he's a scale. He's a 1 scale. You're working with 1 and 7 scales in this deck. 3 of this Telenite guy, the 1 scale. He's got 0 attack with 2100 defense, and he can pop face-up cards when he destroys another face-up Zephyr card. This guy does the same thing, but it's face down. He's a 7 scale. Pop another Zephyr card, or Zephyr monster card, and pop a face down. So these 2 are good, not only just because they're 1 and 7 scales, but also because they pop monsters. Now, all of these that I just showed you, they're all specific. If you have this guy in your pendulum zone, you can only pendulum summon Zefra and Yang Zings. And if these guys are in your pendulum zone, you can only pendulum summon Zefra and Satellar Knights. or Teller Knights. So basically, you're going to be pendulum summoning them for the most part these guys out from your pendulum deck. If you have the Yang Zing skills, you can obviously pendulum summon the Yang Zings, but that's not going to happen too often actually. One way it can happen is if you have this on one side. This is Arching Eccentric. There's not really a replacement for this card, and I'll explain why. Basically, this card is a one card out to a lot of problems. Just like off the top of the deck, it's going to take care of a lot of problem monsters. If it's normal summon, just pop a face-up monster that's messing you up, keep going. It's an MST off the top of the deck, obviously not spell speed 2, but it takes care of floodgates. And it's also a 7 scale, so it fits a lot of different things. One interesting thing about the deck, though, is that once you use this, you have no way to pendulum summon it back out because of how restrictive the pendulum scales are. So I would probably play 3 if I had 3. I only have 2, but in the tournament it put in a lot of work. One Magical Abductor. I would probably cut this card for the 3rd Chi win if I had to play the tournament again. I sided it out almost every game too, and yeah, that's about it. Basically, whenever a spell is played, you put a counter on it, and you can remove 3 counters to search out a pendulum card and add it to your hand. So, I mean, if you have an opening turn, if you have her in the opening hand, she's good. If you don't, she's bad. And if you want to get her in your opening hand, basically the solution is just to play more of her, which makes your other hands potentially really bad. So she's good when she goes off, but I mean, if not, you don't want to draw her late. She's like literally nothing late game. 3 Oracle of the Zefra. This is an important card. It searches out all of the Zefra pendulums. And when you actually synchro, while this is on the field, you can stack a monster card to the top of the decks. Stack Arching Eccentrics for removal. You can stack Jiaotos to go off again. Just really good. So we're playing 3 because it's a searcher. 3 chicken game. We want to get to a Jiaoto play as soon as possible. It's kind of what the deck's built around. Upstarts. Terraformings because we're playing chicken game, and Oracle. So a lot of times I use chicken game myself and then put Oracle on top of it so my opponent can't use it and I don't have to pay the 1,000 to get rid of it. Playing 1 Yang Zing Path. I might bump this up to 2. I had 2 before the tournament started, but I figured since I could search it out, I probably wouldn't need to use it more than once. But there were a few grindy games where I really wanted another one. And that may take this spot. Prana wasn't bad. Prana, it gives you, based on the different types of Yang Zings in your graveyard, gives you different effects. The lowest one is 500 attack for all your Yang Zings, which is actually kind of relevant. And then the highest one is you can send this card to the grave and blow up all the monsters on the field. And I actually pulled that off once. It was glorious, and it actually sealed the game for me. So, and you can search it out. So, it's not bad. It's not great. I might cut it for a 2nd path, though. I have not decided. It's good enough to where I'm considering keeping it over a 2nd path. So just test it out, see if you like it. On the Yang Zing Creation, if you get this card going early, you're going to win. Off the advantage it makes. You could bump it up to 2 if you wanted, but you can search it out with Zefra Yang. That's why I'm running a lot of these as one of, because you can search them out pretty easily in this deck because you're going to be pendulum summoning your Zefra Yang pretty often, or it's going to get destroyed by a card effect. Then 1 Zefra Divine Strike. This card, once you make your big play, once you make your double Baxia, and do all these things. You have Zefra Yang sitting in your extra deck, just waiting to be used with Divine Strike. Divine Strike is a spell speed 3, negates basically anything by removing a Zephyr from your extra deck. So, for example, I made a big play, got rid of a Shadow player's field, and I knew the one card he had left in his hand was a Shadow Fusion. I didn't know what he was going to draw, obviously, but I knew he had a Shadow Fusion I had to deal with. So I set up my board. Got it nice and protected. I knew he was just going to try to play a Shadow Fusion off the top. And I had the Divine Strike waiting for him. So Shadow Fusion, no, Divine Strike, and sealed me a game. So that's the entire deck. Major weaknesses for this deck. They do exist. Most common one, I guess, would be an Effect Veiler on your Jiaoto play. It's pretty backbreaking. Maxi on the Jiaoto play is also pretty bad, but you hopefully can get enough advantage through the play to where you maybe will come out even, or maybe even on top. Baxia spins are really back-breaking for your opponent, so sometimes it's worth it to still go through with it, but kind of be smart about it. So that's the entire deck. As you can see, it's kind of unorthodox as far as Yang Zings go, because the Yang Zing decks that have been doing really well lately have been the stun ones. They're not stun, but they were running like lose a turn and things like this. So this is a more hyper-aggressive, get to your play, set up your field, and win that way. So that's the deck. I'm not really going to talk too much about like card choices and things like that, because honestly, I'm still pretty new to the deck. I was just able to pilot it really well and go undefeated at the locals. I mean, it is locals at the end of the day, but it is a cool deck. So go over the extra deck, and again, this is where the money you're going to be spending. You do need to run on Trishula, a trap immune Trishula, just can win the game out of nowhere. Xiao Fang, this guy, he's a level 9, and basically the Yang Zing materials that are used to make him, their attributes, he makes it to where your opponent can't activate those types of effects. So, for example, the very last game of the day, I was playing against Nekroz in the finals. I had Jiaotou. I got a Teoti and a Bishi off of it, and then I synchroed them together for this guy. And this is why I played Teoti in the main deck, so I can do this exact play against Nekroz, because I knew I was going to play a lot of Nekroz, and it's honestly not the strongest play. But basically, you end up with a Cheo Fang or Ko Fang, whatever you want to call it, that can't be, and your opponent can't activate dark or water effects. Now I know Nekroz have plays where they can do a rank 4 play and get rid of it, but I had a mistake when I made the play, and so I thought it was a good play, and ended up winning me the entire match. And so it's just kind of fun. But this guy, what you just need to know is that he negates stuff against certain matchup. Shadol's, Burning Abyss, negating dark effects, light effects can be really relevant. So very strong card. Kind of flew under the radar. I really think that card's very important. 3 Baxia. Basically, the bread and butter of this deck is Jiaotou and Zefra, the level 6 Pendulum Yang Zing. I'll kind of go over more detail later. Just gonna do this real quick. Go over the extra deck. 1 Beals. Beals is still really strong. The Trap Immune Beals has very few things to fear. Void Ogre. The main play of this deck, again with the Jiaotou and the Zefra, makes multiple Baxias, and if you have all the pieces, the ideal field you'll end with on your turn after spinning 4 monsters, or 4 cards on your opponent's side, is a Felgrand, a Void Ogre, and a Zefra Divine Strike set. I never actually got this far into the combo, but it is a good card. It's like a Shien if you have no hand. So, and it's also a 3000 attacker, which is relevant because it can, if you make it with Suwani, it can be an out to towers. So, just think of that. So one Stardust Dragon. A lot of destruction effects like field wipes going on. I'm seeing people maining double Dark Hole and torrentials and stuff again, so I just wanted to kind of be able to protect my field. It's a good strong level 8. There's a few different cards I could fill. You could do a Spark, you could do a whatever the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, you could do a Scrap Dragon, 1 Yazi, 1 Clearwing. Clearwing's awesome. It's a really good card. I'm not going to sit here and explain all the reasons Clearwing's good, but very nice. We were running a lot of field spells, and this card becomes relevant in games where you go into time. And it's actually not bad, just kind of as a neutral play. You don't want to make a lot of neutral plays, but it's mainly for when I was going to go into time and needed life points and things like that. I could just wall up and, start getting life points off my field spells. Horus, Metaphys Horus, really awesome card. When you make him with a pendulum as a material, it basically, your opponent has to choose a card on their side of the field, a monster, and they give it to you. So if they only have 1 monster, you can basically snatch a monster with this. If it's made with just an effect monster, it still negates the face-up card effect, and that can be a spell or a trap. Just a really nice, strong synchro. Armades. I did try the old Entity Hastor. Um, I never made it. I'm probably going to turn this in. I'm definitely going to turn the spot into Star Eater when I get it in the mail. So there's that. Battle Immune, Herald of Arclight is a really big thorn in a lot of deck sides. And like I said, Felgrand, you use up your Baxias, you have the 2 level 8s just sitting there, and you go into Felgrand. And a lot of times you can seal game that way. I'll go over just a very, very basic Zefra like kind of loop. This is why the deck's this is why I did well, and this is why the deck is good. Jouto and Zefra. And however you get to this point doesn't really matter. If you got to this point with these 2 being on the field at the same time through a pendulum, then normal summoning this, or the effect of Jouto getting this and another Yang Zing, it can be any Yang Zing that fits the bill for Jouto. Basically, these 2 together make Baxia. So this goes to the extra deck, and this goes to the graveyard when you synchro summon for Baxia. This Baxia will spin 2 cards. It'll send 2 cards on your opponent's side back to the deck, and then you have Baxia's other effect. So at this point, if you had another Yang Zing, you would target that Yang Zing with Baxia, destroy Baxia to bring back a level 4 or lower monster in your graveyard. You're gonna do Jouto right here, and then with the effect of the Yang Zing, you're gonna bring out another Zefra. So then that Zefra and this new Jouto obviously go together, and you make a second Baxia. Spin 2 more cards on your opponent's side of the field. Now, if you have your Pendulum Scale set, you could then Pendulum summon the 2 Zefra out. Have this Baxia target like a Field Spell or Pendulum Scale to bring out this again. Just there's a lot of things where you can have it bring out other things. You're searching every time you Pendulum with this. It's just a lot of different things to kind of keep track of. I don't want to explain the entire play because there's a lot of different ways you can go, but this is the bread and butter. Double Baxia, then overlay into Felgrand. So you've spun 4 cards, and you're going to protect your advantage. And along the way, if you get the other cards that can protect your advantage, like if you Pendulum summoned, or you searched out Divine Strike, or you had Divine Strike, the combination of the 4 spins, the effect negation, and if you get far enough into the combo where this comes out, then you have game there. There's nothing that your opponent's really going to be able to do to get around this all at the same time after losing 4 cards on their side. So that's the idea. Again, this is going to be a direct upload. I'm going to upload it from my phone when I go to bed tonight. So if I misspoke or anything comes out wrong, I do apologize. I did this all in one take, one sitting, just sitting here and talking about the deck. But again, that's Zefra Yang Zing. At the moment, I'd say it's probably better than a standard Yang Zing deck because I really think that this card is the reason the deck's good. One last thing that I did with this deck, I went into time and I was able to just Pendulum summon like three of these in defense mode. My opponent couldn't get over it in time. He was playing Burning Abyss. He had no real good way to get over 2600. It's just a big wall. It can stop your opponent's pushes because you can special summon it off the Yang Zing effects. This plus Jouto, like I said, is Baxia. You can do plays where you make multiples of them. Just a really strong deck. And if you like synchroing and you like kind of fitting all the different pieces of the puzzle together to get the outcome you're looking for, this is the deck for you. It's not linear. There's usually 2 or 3 different plays you can do on each turn. So try the deck out, guys, and we'll see you next time.